E aí pessoal, mais uma vez, bem-vindos ao canal. E agora a gente está aqui na convenção de hipnose em Londres, com grandes nomes, grandes referências da hipnoterapia a nível mundial. E eu estou aqui ao meu lado agora com Karl Smith. Ele é uma das maiores referências que a gente pode ter na questão do estresse, do uso da hipnose para tratamento de estresse pós-traumático. Karl, you just released a book, about PTSD and the use of hypnosis on it. And I'd like to know what's your approach and how you use the hypnotherapy, how you use hypnosis on those cases.
Okay, so to give you a bit of an idea of a background onto it, so I did 12 years in the British military, in the British Army, and then I did 12 years, just shy of 12 years as a counter-terrorism firearms officer. So for back home, that would be like a SWAT officer in like the States. I was like a SWAT officer in the police. But in 2006, I was run over by a drunk driver. He reversed over me and then drove over me. So he'd done lots of damage to my body, my legs, and my back, and my skull, and lots of damage. And I was ended up with post-trauma, or post-traumatic stress disorder, as most people put it out. And I was really in search of. I've been to counselling. I've done CBT. I've done all of the, the usual things that the medical welfare services wanted to put me down.
And by that time you didn't know hypnosis?
No, I didn't. And then what happened is a fellow police officer said to me, "Have you ever been hypnotised before?" And I went, "No, no, I'm not doing that, but not doing hypnosis." And he went, "It's not what you think it is." So I said, "Okay." So I gave myself permission, I accepted the fact I needed help, and I knew that there was no shame in doing it. And this guy, who was a hypnotist, he then hypnotised me, and then as he hypnotised me, I felt like this big bubble. All of the things that I couldn't say in cognitive therapies, like counselling, I couldn't say. I felt this bubble just rising all the way through my body during the hypnosis session, and the whole lot came out. Everything about, from being blown up in scenarios, being shot at, being run over, and all of the trauma that I've ever been involved in, and I've been through a lot through my life. And it all came out, and I couldn't stop crying. It was just everything, the emotions were all coming out. So you've got this roughy-tufty soldier, you've got a roughy-tufty firearms officer, big guns, pistols, tasers, and all that looking all big. But actually deep down there was a little boy inside, there was an emotion inside, and it popped, and it all came out. And as soon as the hypnosis session had finished with this police officer,
all that happened in only one session?
In one session. So literally, like what happened is that the reason I knew something drastically changed in my life is that I was no longer angry, I wasn't upset, I wasn't hurt, my sleepless nights had stopped. I was sleeping all the way through the night, and I wasn't having reoccurring nightmares. And other things were changing. I was feeling much more happier in myself, so I knew something had gone. And it was at that point then I went to myself, what was that? What was that? What was this hypnosis thing? And at that point then was the point that I then started my journey with hypnosis and hypnotherapy. That was the point where I realised that hypnosis and hypnotherapy was where I wanted to be in life, and then just continuously just learn and learn and learn until eventually I'm now travelling the world teaching about post-trauma, and I'm teaching about hypnosis, and that's my life now, and that's where I am. So from my experiences of military and emergency services and being run over by a drunk driver, I learned about post-trauma. And one of the key things about post-trauma is that people wear a label, same as autism, ADHD. They get a label called post-trauma, and they wear it. Some of them wear it with pride. The reason I called my book No D in PTSD is because I wanted to reframe it, I wanted to change it, I wanted it not to be something that was special, I wanted it to remove the disorder. So it's just, in my opinion, aggravated stress, acute stress levels. So when I see people, fellow police officers, emergency services, or military people, I reframe it, I just turn it upside down and say, well, all it is acute stress, and we can resolve it. And that's the way I go about it. So no D in PTSD means that there is no disorder. Because if you go to Wikipedia, because when people are low and they go research post-trauma stress disorder, post-trauma stress, that comes up. Disorder on Wikipedia, we know Wikipedia is rubbish, but when people are low, they go in search. But when you look at disorder, and it was, I think it's changed now, disorder, when I read it, it said broken toilet door, irretrievably broken. Well, if you imagine somebody's really poorly or really ill, I didn't like that idea that somebody was going to read that, so that's why I took away the disorder. And that reframe helps people.
Yeah, and when you go by disorder, I guess that you generate a belief and the subject that makes it even stronger. Yeah,
and that's why with the No D in PTSD title on the book, it is to destroy that label, to take away that identity factor of it.
Okay.
That's what I do.
And in all those years of experience by treating PTSD with the use of hypnosis,
yes.
Have you ever been through some like a fact or a story that may be relevant to tell, something interesting?
What, from the clients?
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're working with me, do I listen to their stories, or do I?
If you ever ran into a client story, or ever happened the fact that for you as a therapist was interesting or relevant to tell us?
Yeah. Well, I've had people that have been in military situations, special forces and stuff like that, and I've had people that have come to me for sessions all the time. Last week, on one of my videos last week, I had a firefighter with 16 years experience, car accidents, firefighting, death, fatalities and stuff like that. And on a video that I did last week, I put it on Facebook, is that we had a firefight, and in 15 minutes, I'd actually been able to pop the post-trauma bubble the same way as mine did. And today, literally, we're 2 weeks on, and he still texts me to this day, this is beautiful, I've got my life back. And it's such, as a therapist, as a hypnotist, it's such an amazing thing to know that that's one of many stories, but this one guy that we've actually captured on video, popping the same PTSD bubble that I'd had. And it's a beautiful thing for me to look at and go, that was once me, and I know he's now on a journey, and he's going to be an amazing ambassador. He's now left the fire service, but now he's got his life in front of him, not being held back by a label.
And for people to find you, do you have a YouTube channel or Facebook, or how do people find you?
If you type in UK Hypnosis Academy on either YouTube, on Facebook, or on the internet, so if it's www.ukhypnosisacademy.com, if you go to the ukhypnosisacademy.com, you'll be able to find me on all of there. There's tons of YouTube videos on there.
And the book, the PTSD without D,
that's on Amazon.
Can be found there.
Yeah, that's on Amazon. So if you go to the website, it'll take you directly to the link, or if you go to Amazon and type in No D in PTSD, you'll have a book there.
Thank you, Karl.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.